What role do you play in society? I just want to know, what role do you play in society? Are you the crucifier or are you the crucified? Because, see, I was just sitting up here thinking about how they did Jesus back in the day. They did him so wrong, and it was all for nothing. All for nothing. He was rejected because he was different, outside of the norm, doing his own thing, and didn't want to conform to the ways of the world. And because of that, he was crucified because of that. Like, actually put to death because of that. He wasn't doing nothing wrong but going around blessing people and performing miracles. And that was a problem. That was a problem for some people. Now, here come the haters in the back. It always be some haters in the back that want to come through and try to lay down the law on somebody like they have the authority to do that. But had enough nerve to ask him, by what authority do you have to be performing these miracles and things? He done already told y'all he was the Son of God, and y'all didn't believe him. Y'all didn't believe him. But what more proof do you need? Like, he literally raising people from the dead, giving blind people their sight back, giving people, crippled people, the ability to walk again. And y'all still don't believe him. Haters. They was just called a little something different back in the day. But today we call them type of people haters. See, you mad because you didn't have the power. You didn't have the ability. It's always some haters in the back. It's always some haters in the back that's going to try to shut down something good that you're doing. Always. So here come the haters. And in this case, the haters was the chief priests of the Roman church, okay? They want to know by what authority does he have to do these type of things. He already told y'all he the Son of God, and y'all don't believe him. But y'all feel he's committing blasphemy against God because he's saying he's the Son of God. Like, all these miracles he's performing, that ain't proof enough. Like, it's just ridiculous. And so now they want to put a stop to it. They want to put a stop to him, put him in prison and have him crucified and stuff. So they take him to the governor. The governor, Pontius Pilate. Now, this man, he has all power to crucify people and to let people go that is completely innocent. And he knew in his heart that Jesus was innocent and that he didn't have no reason to be trying to crucify this man. But because he was weak in heart and a conformist, which is what he was, he couldn't make the decision. So he decided to leave it up to the people that hated Jesus. So just so happened this particular day of Jesus' crucifixion was the day of the Passover. And there was a law that stated on the Passover day that the people of the community could make a judgment against one or two particular people and have one crucified and have somebody else let go. So there was another prisoner, Barabbas. This man was a stone cold murderer, and a thief, robbing folks. So this weak governor, Pontius Pilate, left it up to the people to decide whether or not Jesus would be set free or if Barabbas would be set free. And of course, they hated Jesus because they wasn't him. And that's just what it is. They hated this man because they weren't him. And of course, the people chose for Barabbas to be set free, which led to Jesus' crucifixion. Now, how messed up is that? How messed up is that? Y'all would rather crucify a person that ain't doing nothing but good, in the world, spreading love, peace, joy, and happiness. But you'd rather have a murderer released back to your community for him to possibly show up at your door next. Okay? So that's what happened. So Jesus gets sentenced to being crucified. So how many people have you allowed to be crucified in your life? Are you the crucifier or are you the crucified? Do you stand by and watch other people be tormented, bullied, treated badly? Or do you stand up and say something? Do you step in and say, that ain't right? Do you make a sound decision on what's right? Because you know in your heart that it's right. Or do you conform to what everybody else thinks because you don't want to be the odd man out? See, Jesus didn't have no problem with being the odd man out. He didn't have no problem. He didn't have no problem with being the odd man out. And he took his crucifixion like a G. Not once did he curse them people. Not once did he say, why me? He took his crucifixion like a G because he knew where he was going. Do some of y'all know where y'all going? When it's all said and done, when Judgment Day roll around, do you know for sure where you going? Because if you don't, you might need to be making some changes. But see, the thing is, my whole point for saying all of this is Jesus is going to always lift up those that are crucified. God is always going to lift up those that are crucified. Now, that crucifier, you're going to have some explaining to do. Okay, when Judgment Day come. But those that are crucified, he always got your back. Always got you back. Got your back. Those that, this is a scripture, those that suffer with me shall also reign with me. So if you one of those people that's out here being crucified, you know, people are always on your heels. People always, you know, dogging you, downing you, abusing you. God on your heels. He on your heels, and you need to open up your spirit to what he trying to say to you, because he in the business of lifting those up that have been oppressed, those that have been in bondage, those that done been drugged through the mud. Them the ones he gonna come after to help to lift up. He said he didn't come here to bless the people that are already blessed. He came here to bless those that have been oppressed and in bondage and held back. That's the business he into. So I just wanted to come on here and just say that, because I remember watching the Jesus movie way back in the day when I was just a little girl, no more than 7, maybe 8 years old, if that, and how bad that movie affected me and how I have always carried that with me. The vision of him carrying that cross on his back with that crown of thorns on his head and the suffering that it was in his eyes and in his face just did something to me when I was a little girl. I've always been an empathetic person, and that just tore me up. Like, I remember actually crying just as a little girl, barely even understanding what the whole movie was about. But that scene in that movie did something to me, and that has always stuck with me my whole entire life, because he didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it. He was crucified for doing the right thing. And that happens a lot in society. People are crucified because they're different. People are crucified because they don't want to conform to the ways of the world. You know, they're crucified because I ain't doing what you doing, or I ain't wearing what you wearing. So you gonna talk about me because, you know, I don't got on the name brand clothes, or I'm not rocking the latest hairstyles, or whatever it may be. That's crucifixion. And a lot of times we don't even realize that that's what we're doing. But you're going to have the answer to all of that stuff. Let me tell you what Jesus said about his blessed, about the people that he going to bless. when it all come down to it. I'm going to read some scriptures to y'all. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me being Jesus. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? Is it no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled by men? You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. So if you're in any of these descriptions of this scripture right here, if you can identify with any of those, if you're the poor in spirit, if you're mourning something, if you're meek, you hunger righteousness, and any other of these scriptures, don't worry, because God got your back. But if you fall on that other side, then you're going to have some explaining to do on Judgment Day. That's all I'm saying. All right? So you guys have a great day.